the fun.
Hey there, welcome to this episode of Mindful Mamas. I'm your host, Molly Ann Luna, and today I have the honor and privilege of interviewing the beautiful Colleen Aynn. She's an international best-selling children's book author of the book series Sad Sally. Hey Colleen, good morning. Thanks for meeting with me.
Yeah, good morning. How you doing?
I'm so good. I'm so excited to have this interview with you for so many reasons. But I want to go ahead and just kind of toss the ball over to you. Can you give us some insight about your book and how that journey began for you?
Yeah, sure. I'm actually not an author by trade. I'm a performer. So my daughter was little, and I was trying to find a way to go back to performing. She was super colicky, and so they called me and said, will you do a show? And I was like, yes, I will do the show. I didn't even ask what show it was, how much I was getting paid. I just said yes, because I had to get out of the house. I was losing it a bit. And anyway, so while I was doing that, she obviously, grew out of the colic and all this stuff. And I thought, and Bruno, my husband, sent me pictures of them in the pool. And I was backstage one day and I just started sobbing. I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing here? Why am I here? I just want to be home. So I finished out my contract. And but while I was finishing it out, I was playing June Carter in a Johnny Cash June Carter show. And she wrote Ring of Fire. And so when I was supposed to be writing Ring of Fire, I started drawing these little characters. And I didn't know what they were. I just thought they were cute. And so that's what I did every night. I would draw these little characters. And I called the first one Sad Sally. And I started drawing a bunch of them. And I would call them my little feeling friends. And then I started hearing these little stories in my head. And I would take myself out for breakfast and write them down. And I didn't really know what I was doing with it at the time. I just thought, that's kind of cute. And my husband said, well, get it illustrated or something. Because I had sketched it. But I don't know how to graphically illustrate things. So I hired someone and got it illustrated, and I didn't know what to do with it. So it sat on my computer for 3 years. It just sat there. I didn't know what to do with it. But I came home and I hung out with Amelia, and life was good, and I was happy to be kind of home. And then I went to a conference last July, a Bob Proctor conference, and he said, publish your book. And I was like, I am a singer. I don't know how to publish a book. And he's like, learn how to do it. Go talk to that woman over there. She's got a bunch of New York Times bestsellers. Figure it out. And I was like, okay. So I did. I bought her course, and I've been working with her. And yeah, I learned how to publish a book.
Oh my gosh. Wow. So a couple of things. And I kind of want to, I really want to touch on what Bob said and how that was a catalyst for you. But before I do, you had said something, and as a mama, I feel you. I feel you there. So I just wanted to back up. I know it's not book related, but having baby girl and then getting in that space of just I need a break, and then giving yourself permission to go on and to work, but then still having that inner conflict going on. I just wanted to take a moment, just thank you for sharing that piece, because I think a lot of us feel that way. I mean, even in this moment, I work from home, but I've had to step away from baby girl to show up here. And so thank you for just sharing that authentic piece, because I think we need to hear that as mamas. We want to be there for our babes 100%, but we also do have this creative energy inside of us that's just craving to get out. And for you, it was in the form of theater. Was that correct? Theater. And then now it's coming forth in the form of your book. And I just wanted to take a moment to honor that. So thank you for sharing that. But could you expand a little bit on that conversation that you had with Bob Proctor and what it was exactly that was finally the catalyst for you to just say, that's it, I'm going for it. I'm going to publish my book.
Okay, yeah. So we were sitting, this was last July, and we were sitting in the Matrix conference, and he said, who here has written a book? Put up your hand. And I just sat there. And suddenly I hear, Colleen, put up your hand. And I'm like, who is talking to me in the middle of this conference? And it's my husband saying, put up your hand. You wrote a book. And in my head, I hear, oh, well, it's just a kid's book. And then I was like, oh, well, I haven't done anything with it. Oh, well, all those little, things that happen to us, right? And then I was like, so I kind of half raised my hand, and I was like, oh, I wrote a book. And I realized I wasn't. And then this woman, Peggy McCall, got up and spoke on stage, and she was like luminescent to me. Like, I was so drawn to her, and I was like, I need to work with this woman because she knows stuff I don't know. Like, she knows how to do this. I don't know how to do this. Anyways, I guess I realized I wasn't taking myself seriously. And it bothered me because I was like, wait a minute. First of all, why am I having a conversation with Bob Proctor and he is taking me more seriously than I am? Like, that was a big hit to me. Like, he's like, do it. You have to publish this book. And I'm like, no, this is basically the response in my head. And I'm like, wait a minute, what am I doing right now? If he thinks it's a good book, what's up with me? Like, what am I doing? And yeah, I think that was just something big for me that I'm like, I need to take myself more seriously. I am worth taking seriously. And that was I guess, I don't want to say a mom moment or a woman moment. It's a human thing that we just don't sometimes believe in what we're already holding and what we've already done. And it's important that those things in us, that we bring them out and that we believe in them and that we have faith in them. And this is something I believe in so much, and that I teach my daughter. And here I am with my book going, and I was like, I got to change this right now.
That's interesting. And you're right. It's totally a human experience of letting that negative mind chatter consume us and really believing in that factor of unworthiness. But the truth is, you are worthy of it, and you have proved it now to us by launching this book and having such great success. That is profound. And I'm excited to hear that it took the encouragement and love and support from Bob Proctor through that seminar, The Matrix, I believe was it?
Yeah.
For you to finally step in and be like, you know what? I'm going to own Colleen, and I'm going to own the creative essence that's coming through me and sharing it with the world. That's fantastic. So take me back. This was in like July, right?
Yeah.
And then the book launched. I think it was just a few months later.
It actually was. When I look at it, it all happened really fast. You come up with all these excuses, right, of why you can't do it. Why? So I signed up with this woman, Peggy, and I said, just so you know, I'm producing a play right now. It's going into the schools. I can't actually work with you. The show closes on September 27th. Is that going to be a problem? Like, in my head, I was almost making it a problem. She's like, no problem at all. That's fine. I'm like, oh, okay. So we didn't start working on this till October. And so from October to February, we launched last week. We launched February 28th. So from October, what is that? November, December, January, 4 months. 4 months. That's crazy.
Now, is that taking it from the idea to publication? Because you had mentioned that you didn't have a graphic designer lined up. How did all of that unfold?
Yeah, so I had it. This was when Amelia was little, my daughter was little, that I actually had it illustrated. So I had it fully illustrated, fully done, sitting on my computer, doing nothing for 3 years.
Wow.
3 years. Yeah, which really, when I look back now, I'm like, that was a little bit silly. But again, when we don't take ourselves seriously, the stuff we have just kind of sits around as these great ideas in the back of the computer somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was done. It just, I had to get it to an editor. I had to get it to, so the illustrations were done. I had hired a guy that I felt really resonated with me. I went online and I did a storyboard of the book. Like, I sketched it all. I knew what I kind of wanted it to look like, but I don't know how to graphically do things. So I was like, I need somebody who could do this. And I auditioned, I guess, 4 different people and had them do 3 pages of the book, I think, and just to see who kind of really, what resonated well with me. And this guy came back and I was like, yeah, this is how I want it to look. And so I've been working with him, and now he's done Mad Michael as well, the next one. And I know it's crazy. It's kind of snowballed from there. But Yeah, it's wild. When you just start saying yes, it's amazing what starts to happen. It's amazing.
Start
and how
saying,
fast it can happen.
absolutely. Start saying yes to yourself and start looking past those circumstances that you create, either in your mind or in your physical world of, I don't know how to do it, or I'm not worthy of doing it, and going down that trail. So finally just saying, like, enough is enough. I'm going to seek the circumstances, or I'm going to create them for myself.
It was actually really freeing to be able to say, I don't know how to do this. I don't know what I'm doing. Please help me. Please advise, because this is not my realm. This is not my expertise. I want to do this. You know how to do it. Let me know what to do next, and I will do it. And I became very good at just doing. She said, do this. Okay. I just kind of did the steps, and yeah, it just kind of worked. It was really cool.
Wow. I like that. It's almost liberating to do that, because for myself, I've been known to be an achievement junkie, somebody who's like, a DIYer, if you will, like, I'll just figure it out myself. But it's nice to be able to be in a space of, okay, I want to give birth to this idea or this book.
Yeah.
And I don't know how. And to be able to go ahead and take, a passenger seat along in that ride. And still bring it forward. That's
there's still a ton of decisions that you end up making and stuff that you have to own, but it's that I had no idea, and you learn so much. And there's the publicist, and there's the publisher, and there's the layout person, and the team that goes behind this. I had no idea. And I was saying to my husband, Bruno, I'm like, sometimes I think that that's done totally on purpose, because if we knew, we would never go forward with things. So, and I like to know, that control feels so good, but it also keeps us locked. It kept me, because I didn't know how to do it, so I won't do it. And it was such a simple thing that he said, so go learn.
Yes.
Oh, yes, I can learn. I am capable of this. I should do this. Yes, I will do that. I will learn.
I love that. And I think I've heard Bob say, it's kind of like a GPS system where you can't know to turn right until you turn left. And it doesn't pop up and tell you, like, what is the next step until you go through that step. So if you had the whole layout, it would feel extremely overwhelming. But knowing that, okay, next I do this. Okay, did that. Now I can move this direction.
Yeah.
And how quickly and easily it does just unfold. Whatever that is, if it's publishing a book, if it's, auditioning for a theatrical play, if it's whatever it is, that's amazing. I want to talk a little bit about the story itself, about Sad Sally. And I know that your book series is really about tapping in or giving children permission, and correct me if I'm wrong, but giving children permission to really tap in and own their big emotions and to understand what those different feelings are about and navigating that. Could you speak on that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. So I think I ended up, like I said, my daughter was really colicky, and I ended up in a lot of therapy because I was a mess. My nerves were shot. I was really not in a great place. So my husband and I started going, and I'm sure everybody knows one of the big things in therapy is you express your emotions, right? And as an actress, again, expressing emotions, this is a big thing. But then I'd go to the playground, and all the moms are like, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. It's the first thing I wanted to say to my daughter while she's screaming, don't cry, don't cry. And I thought, we're giving a weird message. Like, there's somehow a disconnect with the don't cry, and then you only do it in therapy. Only have those big feelings in therapy. And I thought, we really do have to give permission for these big feelings to happen. And I think what I noticed anyways in talking to my friends and my girlfriends, people get nervous about attitude versus feelings, and they're different. You can choose your attitude. You should choose your attitude, because your attitude is what's going to determine where you go. But your feelings are very different. Feelings they're like waves. They're going to come and they're going to go. That's all it is. Let them come, let them go. And while they're there, they can give you really awesome messages about yourself that you didn't even know was happening. Like a great one is jealousy, right? Nobody wants to be a jealous person. And yet jealousy comes in and it's like, oh, why do I feel this way? If we take a second with it, man, I feel really jealous right now. What is going on? Jealousy shows us our secret dreams. I think I really want that. I really would. I want that. And as long as we acknowledge it that way and we're not like, that girl, rah, 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 or whatever, that's the bad way to handle it. But again, that's how we've handled it, not the emotion itself. Jealousy just came in and showed you something you didn't know about yourself. And now you're like, you know what? I have a bigger dream. And my dream is actually what this person's already doing. I'm going to go follow that. And you get to choose the response, obviously. Or anger. I'm so angry about that. Generally, a boundary has been crossed of yours. Mm-hmm. You may not even know you have a boundary in that area. Or, boy, I'm so sad. Why? We've lost someone. You want to give grief a space to grow and to be, and all of that is healthy. It's all healthy. It's the coming and the going of it. It's just like a wave. It's none of that is unhealthy in any way. It's when we try to no, I'm not angry about that. Okay. Yeah, maybe I might be a little bit angry about that, but why? And that's such a nice thing to explore with your kids. Wow, you seem really sad. And you can, a great thing to do with them if you're starting to play with this with them is notice physical things about them. Your mouth is going down in the corners. I see your shoulders are slumping. You seem really sad. Do you want to talk about it? Or, because then you're not saying, here's how you are feeling, right? But they say the first step in emotional intelligence is being able to name your feelings. And we can help our kids do that. We can help ourselves with that. A lot of people, when we're talking to them, don't know how they're feeling, right? Because, I don't know, it hasn't really been a thing to, worry about how you're feeling. Like, just get on with it. Get on with it. That was the big thing in my house. Don't forget about that. Just go. And I've talked to a lot of people who believe this is the beginning of disease in the body because we are at dis-ease with ourselves, right? We're not comfortable with the fact that we have a big emotion on something. You don't have to fly off the handle when you're angry, but acknowledging that you're angry and figuring out why will actually help release it in a really healthy way. So that's what I really wanted for my daughter. And there wasn't anything out there. And I figured she'd handle it better from a character than me anyways, because when mom tells us something, we don't always believe it the same way as if somebody else is telling us. And I thought, if I write, if she has this little character who's telling her, I guess I thought she would believe it more.
Yeah. And I'm so grateful for that, because as a new mama raising a little girl, and even if it was my son, to have that tool to go to, that resource, because you're right. Some lessons, I know for myself, I learn lessons through other means or modalities. It might be the exact same thing my mother told me, but I might not hear it until I get it through another source. So that is fantastic. I love what you say about how emotion and did you say attention are different, and about how just taking a moment to notice what is that telling you, because our emotions are feedback, right? They're giving us feedback of what's going on. And that really resonates with me, because as a young child myself, I used to suffer from these terrible migraine headaches. And I think it was because those waves of emotion, as you put it, came over me, and I would just bottle them up and stifle them in. And then they would try to express themselves in some way, causing disease in my own body. And I've only just learned in the last, 3 to 5 years as an adult, that if I want to cry, just go ahead and just let it flow right in that moment, because then it only lasts like 30 or 60 seconds versus this like bottled up aggression that comes out and who knows what later on. So
and we've all, like my poor husband, when I have not had a proper, I'm like the stress is piling on or whatever, and I don't, whether it makes me angry or sad or whatever, if I don't just let it kind of come and go, things come out sideways, right? And suddenly poor Bruno's getting, hey, he's like, whoa, what's going on there? And I'm like, well, that might be coming out sideways. Sorry about that. We've got unprocessed stuff going on. And if we just kind of let it come in and come out, suddenly I know I become a nicer human being.
Yeah, I love that you pointed that out. My husband, he is very good about catching that sometimes, because sometimes when it's coming out sideways, I don't even put it together. And he'll be like, I feel like you're deflecting something else. Like, what's going on? You're actually upset about this other thing, right? And I'm like, I am, but I hadn't given myself the proper moment or held the space for it to kind of dissipate. And yeah, it's coming out in little jabs to my husband, because I love him the most and he loves me the most. It's unconditional, and it's like, it's not right, but it happens sometimes. And so, yeah.
That's where we can be cool teams, like either as husband, wife, or as mom, daughter, mother, son, dad. Like if we've really got each other's backs, like your husband said to you, hey, I'm noticing this. That's awesome, because that's what we want to do for our partner. I'm noticing that you're being a little rough here. Like, what's going on? Is something else happening? As opposed to him getting all offended that you were rough, because he knows that's not how, you know what I mean? So it builds on this thing, and that's what we can do with our kids. Like, hey, you seem a little angry there. That comment was kind of rough coming back. Is everything okay at school? And knowing that it's probably from something else, not from whatever comment was just made, is so helpful, and it opens the door. I had a few stressful moments in the publishing of the book. And I think it was the week before we launched, I was being kind of snappy. And Bruno's like, are you okay, hon? And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm very stressed. And that's what it was. I suddenly had gotten really stressed, and there was so much to do. I hadn't taken the time for me. And we get, and suddenly things are coming out sideways, and the poor people in our lives are getting hit with our little arrows. And it's such an easy thing to do, but it's nice to have reminders, right? Just, have a little cry. It's all good. Or go, if you're angry, you can yell in the garage, close the door, whatever it is that you got to do to just kind of get it out. I was really fortunate with growing up in theater, and I think it saved my life many times, being able to express and get it out. Because when we keep it in, that's when things kind of turn and go funky. And so being able to express it and get it out in a nice, safe environment it's priceless. And if we can provide that for our kids, they're golden. They're golden.
Amazing. It sounds like such a fantastic book for children and adults alike. And, emotions, it's just energy and motion. So allowing it to move through and being that space to hold for the other person and help them navigate it. Because sometimes it just becomes a fog in our own minds. And it takes a team a little bit to get through it. And that it's okay. Fantastic. So amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Where can our viewers find your Sad Sally and your friends?
Oh, here's Sally right here. She's
let's see her. Oh.
And she's is she cute?
She's so cute. Her little sad face is still the cutest.
I know. I love her little sad face. So you can go to ColleenAynn.com, AYNN, or Amazon. It's on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com as well. So it's gone kind of wild. So you can check it out. We've still got gifts up there too. So if you guys go soon, there's still like fun gifts that I've created for you. So there's a feelings wheel and stuff you can play with the kids. Amelia loves hers. Yeah. So I hope you like it. These are her little friends.
Oh, how cute.
The little feeling friends at the back.
Oh,
we've got Mad Michael and Happy Hannah and Nervous Nellie. And it's amazing. I've been asked the most about Nervous Nellie because we have a huge issue with anxiety in the schools. In school-age children, anxiety is huge. And we got to help them. We got to help our little ones navigate these big feelings that come. And we can do it. We can totally do it. It's just knowing, how can I hold this for you? How can I, give you permission to have this big feeling right now? Because I know it seems scary, but I'm right here. I'm right here.
I know. And as mamas, we're our children's first teachers. So what better tool to have in your toolbox than a fun, cute, go-to, very educational book to read to them. So thank you so much, Colleen, for finally tapping in, turning on, owning your voice, and sharing it with the world. It means so much to us.
Oh, I'm so glad. Thank you for having me. This was really fun.
Yes. Wishing you so much more success in the future, and I'll be sure to add those links below this video.